cool is this? Pretty cool. Anyway, I left Amsterdam, but before I left, I made a short video of what my studio used to be, just to, you know, have that memory. So I'm gonna share that with you, and then we actually start. All the behind the scenes and all the things that I actually only normally share to my students. Anyway, I hope you really enjoy it. I am in a new space right now. I'm in a farm because I'm waiting for my house to be ready to move in. I'm in Zwolle. This is very scattered intro, but I'm not used to talking to the camera, so this is it, guys. This is what you get. What was I even saying? It's just this thing is pointing at me, you know? Anyway, so yeah, I'm in a new city. I'm in Zwolle, and I am actually working from the kitchen for these 3 months, and it's actually okay, you know, like you only need a table to be able to be productive. And I do miss some of my paints, I do miss some of my, you know, drawers and stuff to keep things organized, but I'll be so happy when I'm reunited to all these little things I, you know, have. Oddly, the thing I'm missing the most is not my paint or my sketchbooks or, you know, all those things. What I'm missing is the prints and the artwork that I have from other people and that I can hang. So in order to make this video, I just put wherever I had on my around me, because everything looked pretty white and, you know, a bit boring. So I just put wherever I had. That's all I could find. And I ripped one sketchbook apart, one page, this blue little leaf over there, just for you to enjoy. So some appreciation to the little artwork that has left my sketchbook, just to add some color to this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you feel inspired to experiment and to not be so precious about what you put in the sketchbook. What we put in our sketchbook is, at least in my case, is not the show-off work, it's not where I'm showing my talent or what I can do. It's where I just wonder, maybe I'm super bored, I'm watching a series and I doodle something there, and thanks to that I get an idea or not, or, you know, it's just to kill the time or to warm up or to find out if these two colors work together, or I had this new material, I'm gonna test it, you know. I think because I'm a teacher, by the way, so I know that normally people tend to be very precious about what they draw and paint just all the time. And guys, that doesn't work. If you want to have new ideas, if you want to really tune in to what you want to create, you have to be brave and do shitty work and do things that have nothing to do with your passions, and then some that do, and all of that mixed together will help you finding your own voice. It's so important to stop trying to prove to yourself that you can paint and that you can make something pretty. We all know that. Well, maybe you're starting, but still, don't try to wow yourself or others all the time. The sketchbooks are to experiment, to to find yourself, to find new ideas, and to be free. So this is, there is a fly. It's annoying me so much. Anyway, so this is some of my sketchbooks that I worked on during this last year. And I mean, I didn't finish them all. I think I will finish them all once I'm back in my new house and I'm reunited with them. I made this video for my students a while ago, so I thought I'll publish it. Just have to make an intro. What you will see is that each of the sketchbooks has a different theme or something I'm focused on, or I normally work with batches, so at some point I was very uninspired, so I used one sketchbook to just practice and get better at painting portraits and, you know, like see what I can do, how far I can push the paint to make something realistic. But at some other point I was working on a collection, and what I needed to find was a feel. I think that's one of the first sketchbooks I'm sharing with you. So there's a lot of play and things that don't make any sense, and some that do at the end of the sketchbook. And another one was... I cannot remember, so you will see. Okay, well, I hope you have fun. Bye, cheers! Sketchbook is the one I said I used for a collection to find out which was the feel of everything I would make, and I wanted some nature, but I also wanted some childlike textures, like a child came and painted on top and added some stains, and so it has sort of this mix between realism and the playfulness of the piece. And it's something that I am still sort of working on. I have to go back to the sketchbook and finish these last pages where I just drew a bird in each of them, because I actually had a commission that was painting a bird for a magazine. I practiced my ideas in this sketchbook, and I forgot about the collection for a while, as you can see. This one, it's a mixed media sketchbook. I will write the brand because I cannot remember it. I quite like it. I used it to mix watercolor and pencils and make some work that was a little bit more detailed than what you saw before. And also I used it to study a little bit of anatomy here and there. I think, yeah, you can see it in some pages very vaguely, but just taking notes. And I also used it just to write down some thoughts I had of a piece I was working on, and you know, I just open wherever sketchbook I'm working on and make some fast sketchbooks. And this one is a bit more precious. This one is a sketchbook I'm working on with wash and also watercolor, I think, sometimes. Maybe not yet, but that's the idea. And I try to make work where, you know, I spend more time, and if it doesn't work, like this last one, I just remake it. It didn't work either way, but anyway. And I am still working on it and hoping that it will be a nice one. And this one I started when I had a blog, and so I just didn't know what to draw anymore. I was tired and I started studying a little bit, so I spent a couple of hours on each of these portraits, trying to get the drawing right and trying to get the volumes of the face right. And I'm reserving it. I think I will finish it whenever I have another art block. It hasn't happened yet. I started it in summer 2020, and I did all this work in just a week or two because I didn't know what else to do. And yeah, I learned a lot about lighting and pushing colors and things. And a part of sketchbooks, now that I'm showing you everything I have around, I also have this folder where I keep, saving things that I find interesting for the future. So we have a lot of watercolor paintings, mixed with wash sometimes, some portraits here and there, and some doodles that I make sometimes when, I don't know what to make. Continue with the bird obsession, and then some botanical paintings, which I really enjoy making. If I don't know what to make, I will most probably and surely just make a botanical painting or two. And as you might know if you've seen my actual work, there are a lot of botanicals there, so these are the ones I use for it. Watercolor painting. This is also a test from the collection I wanted to make, mixing some color and childlike patterns with, I think we go back to that later anyway. This bird made it to the magazine. Yeah, this is the part of the collection I was working on with the childlike textures and also portraits. And well, this is the work behind it. Here it is. Trying different textures and tests. And also last year I tried oils for the first time, so you can see it. And so now I want to show you how actually all this work and all this play is related to my final work. So for example, one day was, I was teaching a class actually, and everyone was making the painting. I made these botanicals, and in the end they became part of this piece. Or in this case, I was, working on this first sketchbook that I showed you ended up being this piece and a couple more. So you can see all the work behind and then what ended up being the real deal. So here we see it. Yeah, and this is part of the same vibe, although I have to say in this case I like more the one in the paper. And as you see, I did a lot of birds for this magazine, Zócalo, but in the end they also became part of one of my normal pieces for a gallery. And yeah, there is this tiny sketch. I'm still working on this one. This tiny sketch and the piece that I'm working on. And yeah, here we have this oil painted work and how in the end I mixed it with the Procreate as well as some, watercolor pieces and how they translate to my work. But also, when I had a blog, I studied some sunlight, like what happens when there is sunlight on the skin, as you can see here. And this helped later on, I think a year after I came back to this. And as you can see, without that work in the beginning, I wouldn't have known how to make the skin look like that. A bit glowy almost with the sun. And yeah, I also used these botanicals and this piece. I started on the sketchbook to make something completely different, but it inspired me to say, I want to actually draw this dude and make something cool of it. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's cool for you to see the work behind the work.